Changing Landscapes Vancouver Island is brought to you in part by Roadrunner Magazine.
Roadrunner is the most comprehensive resource for motorcycle touring and travel. Read, discover, ride.
This week we visit Antler carver Shane Wilson and his pet tortoise, Rocket. From there it's off to the Bastion and the Nanaimo Museum, where we check out Nanaimo's past. Thirsty work, I'd say, so we finish off with a visit to the Longwood Brewery.
Barley tree for my barley tree.
Welcome to Nanaimo, a nuclear weapons-free zone. Vancouver Island, British Columbia. That's a little island off the west coast of Canada. It's our home, and what a place it is. My name is Scott Wilson, and I'd like you to join me and my good buddy Dominic Medlinski as we explore our island. Dominic's a landscape artist, and I like to film, and together we like riding bikes, so we're going to take you for a ride. There'll be stunning scenery, lively locals, a bit of wildlife, and perhaps even a tipple or two. If you haven't checked out Vancouver Island yet, then here's your chance. This is Changing Landscapes Vancouver Island.
Yeah, we just arrived at Shane Wilson's studio. He's amazing local and international Antler carver. And you think about Antler carvers, you think, well, little owls here and there. But this is amazing. Let's go and check it out. Knock, knock. Oh. Hey, come on in. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Dominic.
Wow, what do you have here?
A woolly mammoth tusk.
Is it from the Yukon?
It is from the Yukon,
Wow.
Dawson City.
Oh, amazing.
Yes,
The Klondike.
from the Klondike. Yes.
Wow. See, I told you
Okay,
guys, he's
maybe
amazing.
40,000 years old, I think.
Can I touch it?
Sure, yeah.
How heavy is it?
It's about 160 pounds.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy, actually.
And from previous conversation I had with you, artist Martis, I know that you lived in the Yukon. How long did you live there?
We lived in the Yukon for 23 years.
Whitehorse?
Whitehorse, Faro, Ross River,
Oh yeah.
Old Crow, Dawson City briefly, and Antler briefly.
Oh.
I mean, I know Antler is northern BC,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the Yukon.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, so that's the northern connection Shane and I have. So what are you doing exactly here? I see patterns of hands overlapping each other, so you have a positive and negative shapes happening. What's the concept behind it?
The concept is this is a project I began about 20 years ago, and then I put it aside, and only recently brought it back out again and started on it again. Because I figure I'm not getting any younger, so I better get her done. But it's a project that represents the human journey from the time of the mammoths, which was about 40,000 years ago, to today. And the human journey is one where we pass off through our technology to, we hand off life skills, etc., from generation to generation. And this is kind of, these overlapping hands represent generations going down through time. And it's still at the very beginning stages. I'm still roughing things out and making sure that it won't fall apart on me, because it's pretty old. But then I'll interlay sort of an abstract pattern in amongst the hands and make the hands kind of pop out a little more, kind of an angular abstract pattern, representing our technology, our thinking.
So the pattern will be going guided across through the hands?
Behind the hands.
Behind
Behind and through, yeah. So you can see how everything's kind of smooth right now.
Yes.
But there will be a pattern in here which will make the hands kind of really pop out
Right.
nicely.
So they're gonna be, is there gonna be any more detail? Or just
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It depends what the overall look is. If it's served better by more of a smooth look or what. But I'm kind of, it's the kind of thing where I can't really predict ahead of time with any certainty.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of working as I go.
So, how does one carve an antler anyways? Well, Shane, being the good sport he is, decided to show us.
Most of the tools that I use are grinding tools. So I don't do much by hand because antler is a very fibrous material. So it doesn't really lend itself to chisels. So I use these, they're steel grinding burrs, and they're attached to motors on a flexible shaft, these big ones. And so you press on your foot and it spins around, and then you apply it to the material. I've got another piece here for you.
So this is, okay, let's have a look here. So this inside, you can actually see isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so it's kind of a punky bit in the middle with some hard bits on the outside. So when you're carving, you try to keep a balance of the outside and the inside.
Well, you don't want to get into the inside, do you? Because that's softer, isn't it?
You can still carve it.
Yeah? Okay.
You just have to you have to be more careful, because
All
otherwise
right.
your bird can take a big chunk out of it pretty quick. So what we'll do is
You know, Dominic, did you bring your motorcycle helmet? Like, can we, you should carve your name in that. Huh? No, all
it
right.
might do something to the integrity of the helmet.
From the workshop down below to the gallery above. But first we had to meet Rocket.
Unbelievable, like I had cut the grass in the back of his ear. It's a bit shaggy, but I mean, she's kept it down. You can kind of see. So this is an example of moose antler carving. And you can see there are two separate antlers that have just been carved with an abstract curvilinear pattern. They're carved front end.
Your work have titles.
Yes. This one's called Borealis and Orethea. And Borealis and Orethea stand for the Greek gods of the north. So there's because of the curvy nature of this, you could maybe see an abstract Aurora Borealis perhaps. North wind. Orethea was god of the north wind, Borealis was god of the north. Their child, the Greek god of snow. This is a bronze black bear, and this is a bronze wolf skull. And they were done for a show in Algonquin, celebrating the year of the forest. So this one was, I did this kind of an oak theme, as it were. And this is, you know how when you see some of those trees where the bugs, like the birds get in? That's kind of representing that.
It's amazing the medium some artists use. Antlers aren't the first thing that jump to mind when I think of art. Yet Shane's work and process behind each piece was fascinating.
This was a commissioned work, and the person really liked seahorses, and I thought, wow, the seahorses are such funky things, you know? They've got all these bits and pieces, so I thought I'd make an abstract carving out of the seahorses. So if you look at it, one of the things I like to do is combine the curvy shapes with the angular shapes, sort of left and right brain, sort of the emotional versus the thinking, you know. And so here, this one is predominantly the angularly curved, and this one is predominantly the curvaceous. And as with seahorses, the male is the one that has the babies, all the babies ready to go. So I made the male curvaceous and the female angular.
All paintings created during the filming of this series are available for purchase on Dominic's website at www.paintingjourneys.com. Take a landscape artist from Canada, Dominic Medlinski. Then take his buddy, Scott Wilson, a travel writer who never shuts up. Put them on motorcycles, send them to Bolivia, and what do you get? Well, you get one heck of an adventure. Follow along as they rip through changing landscapes, from the salt flats to the Andes, and and the Altiplano to the Amazon. This is Changing Landscapes Bolivia. Now, if you're ever in Nanaimo, there are a couple of things you have to do. One is visit the Bastion, and the other is check out the noon firing of the cannon. And to get you in the mood, they have Bill Poppy on the bagpipes. Let's check it out, shall we?
So the cannons you see here were built in the 1800s to the specifications of the Royal Navy in England, and they were brought over for defensive purposes to guard the building you see behind you, which is the Bastion. However, they were never actually used for any such purposes, only to ever welcome visiting dignitaries into the harbor. It was said under perfect weather conditions, the cannon here could fire a 6-pound shot all the way to Protection Island, which is the island you see in the distance there. Load the charge. Charge home. Load the shot. Shot home. Prime the vent. Fire to fire. Fire.
Cool. Let's check that out again, shall we?
You don't have fun doing that, do you? Huh?
Try and act serious.
Try.
While they put the cannon to bed, we hit the Bastion.
This bastion is actually the last freestanding wooden Hudson's Bay Company bastion in North America. It
Okay.
was built in 1853-54 and has survived quite nicely for that time.
Really? So, and is it 100% original?
No, not quite. In 2010, we had to do some remediation to the bastion. The foundation timbers were rotting. It is cedar, so it is wood, and it is 150 years old, so it's understandable. But the construction company that managed the project did an excellent job of simply replacing the parts of the timber that were rotten, maintaining as much as they could of the original timber. So we estimate it's 90-95% still the original wood.
Okay. And so, and it was built from local materials?
It was built from cedar, yeah. We're
Okay.
assuming fairly close, because why would you haul it any further than you had to?
Yeah.
So,
But cedar,
yeah.
not fir. Interesting.
Yeah. yeah.
Okay, and then so what was its original purpose?
Well, it was originally constructed by the Hudson's Bay Company for trade, and the bastion was constructed for protection as well, if it was needed. It was never used for protection, and the cannons were never actually fired in anger.
Never fired in anger, just in fun.
Fired in fun. Ceremony, fun,
Yeah.
like you saw today.
Okay, cool. So is there any chance we can have a look around?
Please, want to go upstairs?
Check it out.
Careful on these two, watch your head.
The Bastion is not a big structure, but it's a neat structure. Kind of gives you an idea of the mindset back in the day. And it comes with lots of history. And wherever there's history, there's always one question waiting to be posed.
So, official question for the record.
Sure.
Okay, is the place haunted?
There are stories that it is. So there are stories that cannonballs went rolling on the first floor, and that the dress at the very top moved overnight, so from one location to the other one. But I haven't heard or seen anything, so
The dress moved.
yes.
Okay. So, and do you hear voices?
No,
No, nothing?
usually I don't. No.
Emily?
No, not yet.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
All
good.
peaceful here.
So tell me, if it was haunted, would you continue to work here?
If it's a friendly ghost, I would, yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Zangai, what are your final thoughts?
Need more cannons.
We need more cannons.
That's for sure.
Basically what you're saying is you want one at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let it off what? At 9 o'clock call every 9 p.m.?
No, earlier, 7:30.
7:30 happy hour.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that was the Bastion overlooking the waterfront. And yes, Nanaimo is all about the water. Sailboats, float planes, ferries, and folks out enjoying it all. I mean, what's not to like? But a couple blocks over from the marina is the Nanaimo Museum. A great place to check out Nanaimo's past.
We opened here in 08 in our new space.
In '08, okay, I confused it with the old museum up on the hill.
Where the Vancouver Island Military Museum is now.
There, you know something, I went in there and they said, oh, come on, this is the better museum. Yeah, a bit of rivalry there. Yeah. Okay, so behind you then, as your backdrop, is an old photo of Nanaimo taken roughly what time?
It's hard to date. It's kind of 50s-ish.
50 is.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're talking what? So 65 years, a lot has changed.
Yeah. This has all been filled in. The old museum, the other museum, is sitting up here, and we're kind of in here.
So that whole area there has been backfilled and
All this.
wow. And the ferry I catch to Gabriola would be up over there on the left.
Yeah. Somewhere up here somewhere.
Yeah.
The museum is well laid out and contains several permanent displays representing different facets of Nanaimo's past. There's a section on the Nanaimo First Nations, which includes, among other things, an exhibit covering some of their crafts. There's a section covering the Bastion era with a model of the Bastion we just visited. Then there was an exhibit on coal, a resource that had a huge impact in helping shape Nanaimo's development. Part of this exhibit includes a really cool look inside a mock coal mine. Nanaimo's coal, or black diamonds, was the first large deposit discovered on the west coast of the Americas, with the first ship loaded up in 1852. The mines produced over 50 million tons of coal over the next 100 years, and even though the mines are shut down today, there's still coal in the ground. There were obviously times of hard, dangerous work and long days, and inside are great displays showing different pieces of miners' gear. And of course, there's the boss whistle. Nothing happened in the mine before the boss whistle sounded. And to round out the display, there were the gorgeous old photos of the miners themselves. What a hardy bunch. There was also an exhibit on timber. There may have been coal in the ground, but there was timber above it, lots of it, and it also played a part in Nanaimo's growth. Next to the timber display is Educating Nanaimo, a period schoolroom from the 20s, complete with, yes, you guessed it, a coal-burning stove. The harbor area is also covered, as Nanaimo offered a great port and provided the perfect gateway to numerous resources in the area. I have to say, the folks at the Nanaimo Museum have done a great job in capturing parts of the past and bringing them into the present. It gives a well-rounded look into the city, and why not? I hadn't realized what a fascinating history Nanaimo has. Chalk one up for the museum.
Expertly planned tours complete with maps, GPS files, and area information. Roadrunner is the most comprehensive resource for motorcycle touring and travel. Read, discover, ride.
If you're enjoying the show and would like to contribute to future free programming, why not become a patron at patreon.com/Nomadic Bull. Thanks for watching.
All right, here we are. Where are we?
At the Longwood Brewery.
Longwood Brewery.
All right, he got it this time.
There we go.
Why are we here, Dominic?
Well, it's an amazing place to taste local beer. And here they have amazing variety of beer sourced from local ingredients.
That's a hell of a sales pitch.
Not bad.
All right. Yeah. No, so this show though, we've kind of concentrated on, throughout the series of artists, and obviously earlier on we were out at Shane's and we were checking out the mammoth carving, the tusk, and that was kind of cool. And then we were over at Dominic's place, and here is another kind of art, and the art of craft beer, which personally is one of my favorite. And we actually met Harley and Tracy a little while back, and they invited us in to check out and see what goes into a craft beer. Because like Dominic was saying, a lot of it's local ingredients.
Absolutely. We've recently sort of caught on to the whole locavore movement. It's been happening in food. Locavores. Carnivores, locavores, sourcing local food.
Is that what it's called?
That's a word.
Did you know that? No.
No, I didn't.
Well, I've never heard of that. Locavore. Hey, well, that's why we're here. To learn. Yeah, all right. So, but all right. And we say that because it wasn't always that way. Apparently 30 years ago, way back when, Harley started off, but he was abiding by the Bavarian
Purity law.
Purity law.
Established in 1516 in Bavaria. It made brewers make their beer from 4 ingredients: malt, barley, hops, water, yeast.
Malted barley, hops, barley,
water, and yeast.
Okay, yeah.
Very simple. That's all you need to make good beer, and that's the way the law is in Bavaria.
Okay, so
the other way.
You can't do it any. So why did you do it the other way?
We decided to expand. It sort of got a little bit tired. The customer was demanding different and new products. So we started doing Belgian style beers, where it's adding fruit to the beer. We do a raspberry out here, there's cream beers, there's cherries added to it. There's Hefeweizens with orange, coriander. You've got a whole variety of beers that don't abide to that law, but still are fantastic beers. And to keep the public's interest these days, you got to change it up and be different.
Change it up and be different. So what's the wildest thing you put in a beer?
That we probably couldn't talk about.
Coming to a beer near you. All right, no. But so you said though.
Next question.
Next one, no. So, but I mean, you've got lots of, like you say, raspberries, or I've heard.
Yeah, we've added herbs and spices. We do one called the Super G here. It's ginger, ginseng. It's got a nice gingery bite to it and real earthy flavor of ginseng.
And like who comes up with this? Like, what do you do? Like, you got a room out back that you just tinker, or
most beer recipes are based on some sort of traditional style, but like say nowadays it's starting to veer off a little bit. So it's just your imagination. Maybe something collides back in the brewery on a Friday afternoon after work, and you just decide this is going to be a good beer.
So what is your most popular beer?
Currently, our most popular beer is the Island Time Lager. This is one that we source all our barley locally, all our hops locally. Everything's malted here. We combine it and we send it back out to the public. It's a nice, easy drinking 5% lager, sort of a Pilsner style.
Okay. Okay, the brewery makes beer. I get that part. But I'm still a little stumped on what the process involves, though.
Basic process is barley comes off the farmer's field, it goes to a malting company. A malting company steeps it, sprouts it, kilns it. That's preparation for the brewer. We take that barley, we crack it.
Crack it? What do you mean by that?
We mill it, just crack it, open up the barley, expose the inside.
Yeah. And
then we steep it at a certain temperature. That steeping process converts starches in the barley into simpler sugars that fuels fermentation.
Okay.
Alcohol, carbonation.
So this is where it's starting to become good.
That's when you start
So
to get.
you cannot make vodka.
We cannot make
You mean by law?
By law, we can.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So because we're out back, and you're going to show us the what do you call them, vats?
We got a brew house. We got fermentation tanks.
Fermentation tanks. Yeah. Okay. So and then all that takes place there, and then like what does it take? Maybe like how long does it take?
It takes 3 weeks to 6 weeks. Depends on the variety of beer. Lagers longer, ales shorter.
Okay.
Some beers, year and a half, 2 years.
Now we're up earlier on. We were up at for the Campbell River episode. We're at Shelter Point Distillery, and we're checking out their whiskey. And they were saying for their quality control, they would send off batches down south, and they had these people down there that would test them. So, are you the tester, Tracy?
I am not the tester. Carly's the tester.
Yeah, she really not saying much. Here we go. So
Tough job.
it's tough. So, but like every batch, though, I mean, do you do like a test, or is there?
Oh yeah, we've got a quality control specialist here at the brewery.
Go Pete.
Pete.
It
Okay.
takes a scientific look at all the beer throughout the entire process.
Okay.
We're packaging beer, so beer's number one enemy is oxygen and bacteria.
So what do you reckon, Dominic? Is there any chance of
I think we should have a beer, right?
Have a beer.
Yeah.
And what are we drinking here?
You are drinking the Island Time Lager.
Island Time, and this is easy
Drinking.
drink.
Pilsner style.
So Pilsner. So Pilsner is a style.
That's a style. Developed in Pilsen, Czechoslovakia.
That's right.
Many,
Really?
many years ago.
You would know that. I know Poland, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pilsner beer, what's the difference?
Well, it's a lager for one.
Okay.
They're all lagers.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of hops in it, and a very pale to light color, similar to this.
Yeah.
It's just a great drinking beer.
It's
And
a great
classic
drinking
style.
beer.
Drink.
So, all right,
Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers.
Check it out.
Cheers.
From changing landscapes
In Nanaimo.
Nanaimo. Cheers.
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 Rational versus emotional. All of those dualities are things that oppose each other but go together to make a unified whole.
Knows that Carly and I are here a lot, as well as Milo, the brewery dog.
The brewery dog.
Milo.
Is she? Yeah, she's a fast mover. Yeah, she's thinking about, one day I'm gonna move.